Hello, you're welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of my discussion on how to take good care of your aged ones. I hope you enjoyed part 1. If you have not watched it, please do endeavor to watch it. I plead with you to please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and press the notification button so that you will always be notified when I have uploaded another video. Above all, kindly share this information. You are sent, I am sent to you, you are sent to other people whom you know, who particularly are in dire need of information of this nature. So this topic we are treating is a very vital one. Bible says, honor your parents so that your days shall be long in the land that the Lord has given unto you. That's the aspect we are really exploring. In part 1, I defined who your parents are. They are not limited to your biological father and mothers. They include your extended, like grandparents, stepmothers, stepfathers, aged ones in general. So if you want to know more details about that, please patronize the first part of this video. However, in this very part 2, I want to delve a little bit into details about some of the things I identified as the duties of care that you owe to your parents. Number 1, I said food. You need food for them. You need accommodation for them. You need medical care for them. And of course, you need affection. Then, of course, shelter next. That is, okay, accommodation has taken care of that. But you need affection. I want to take these ones one by one and do a little bit of explanation on them. Let me tell you, even at just a little above 60 years of age, my appetite now don't take much of what it used to take. So there is little, I eat little now. That's just to tell you, yes, our parents, our aged ones, they need food. They need food. But what they need in food is not necessarily big food. In the first place, let it be balanced diet, what I call balanced diet, because their organs are no longer what they used to be, when they were young. So their eating pattern has changed dramatically. I'm able to say all this because I have the opportunity or the privilege of having cared for aged people, my mother, my father, and so on. So I know that aged people, yet they need food, but they are not like we the young ones that can eat heavily. But that little that they need it on time. And number 2, that little that they need, it has to be balanced. And for instance, in Ekiti land, I know we are used to eating pounded yam, what else? Maybe fufu, maybe little eba. But our main staple food is more or less pounded yam. But we know that at an old age, even the quantum of the pounded yam that we can take becomes smaller and smaller as we age. And then, of course, we know that the nutritional value of pounded yam in the body, well, it contributes its own. You still have your sugar, you have your little bit of protein, and of course, well, and so on and so forth. I'm not a dietitian here, but all I'm trying to say is that, look, Pounded yam, so much of pounded yam will not do the aged one so much benefit. What do aged ones need? They need things that their systems can easily digest and that will be useful in their bodies. Beans in particular is very important because of the high protein level. And then food like beans can be taken in different forms. Could be direct cooking. Many of our parents, because they are not used to it, they don't like it. So there is a duty on you now to make them like it by turning it to things that they can really like. Something like akara, something like moi moi. By the time for instance, if you are giving them beans, their flesh will be, fresh. They will not quickly go in, and their wrinkles in them will reduce. And even there, I want to tell you that I don't want to link it because I don't have scientific proof for that, but I know the organs will find it easier to digest things like that. And at the same time, not only that, their reasoning, their brain will continue to work well. Everything, because it is easier to digest. And then they need a lot of vegetables in terms of, something that is soft, something that they can easily digest. Then, still talking about beans, you have different type of beans. You have the normal beans, you have soya beans, you have, I discovered that something like soya milk is as good as eating beans. If you add soya milk to the diet of the aged ones, it's very good for them. I'm speaking from experience. Very, very good for them. And then they easily digest it, and it still gives them the same protein and other things that are very necessary for for them to live well. Then vegetables, fruits, and all those things. Fruits are also very important. Fruits are very important. Pineapples, pawpaw, And then again, let me tell you some of the areas in which you can make an elderly person to eat beans very well. Add plantain to a ripe plantain. Make it porridge, beans porridge with plantain. Then you can add yam, change it again to yam tomorrow, or sweet potato, something that will make it sweet. Sweet potato, add it to beans. Then, again, old people tend to drink a lot of tea, particularly Bonvita, all these chocolates, Milo, and all that. They tend to, because it is easy for them to swallow, and when they take these things, it is easy for them to digest. Well, there has been that argument whether milk is actually okay for adults. Then if you don't want to use the regular milk, then buy soya milk. You can add it to their tea, you can add it to, but if they still take tea once a day, I don't see anything wrong with it. Also, eggs play very important roles in elderly people's lives. Eggs, at least maybe 2, 3 in a week. Boiled, though you scientists have said we shouldn't roast it again, that this and that, but fry it again. And boiled ones, they are good for them. Then they can easily digest all these things. Maybe 2, 3. They don't need it every day like the young ones. Maybe once in 3 days or every other day. It's okay for them. Then things like simple drinks like malt. Malt is also okay for them. I alternate with that. For instance, with my aged ones, what I do is I give them soya milk. I give them malt, occasionally, malt drink. It helps them. So, not all the time amala. They still eat their pounded yam or amala or whatever. They are okay, but a little bit of that and not every day. With all this one, by the time you alternate them with vegetables and all that, you are okay. So they don't eat heavily, but they eat, the little they will eat, let it be the ones that will be nutritious for them. Introduce fruits and all that, anything that they can eat in terms of vegetables. So all this one will help us. This is just an in-depth. You can research more in terms of food. Now, let's look at medication. When I'm talking about medication, I'm talking more about preventive medication than curative medication. What do I mean by that? Adults, aged ones, need supplements, and there are lots of them in the market. It could be herbal, it could be orthodox, well man, well woman. They are all made for aged people. There is a regular one for younger people, but you have reload for men, reload for women, and the same about ages. The beautiful thing about these supplements, one is that whatever is missing from the food they are eating that they cannot intake, they will get them from these supplements. And most of them are once daily. For instance, Wellman, a capsule of it, I think, is just one per day. And then the various vitamins and minerals and all that are in these supplements, they go a long way to help to prolong the lives of these aged ones, because their digestive system will work well. They will flush out what is not necessary in their bodies, and the little sicknesses or headache and whatever, sleeplessness and all those things, by the time they have this balanced thing, you see, when you combine your supplement with your food, then you have balanced diet. And then when you have that, you discover that the body will still function as it should function. Then, so there has to be introduction for something like supplement on a regular basis. For it, you see, a bottle of such supplements, some of them cost as much as 3,000, 4,000 for 30 days. You can imagine that now. You add that up for 1 year. Do not, you see, that's why I'm saying, as you are sending money for food or you are sending raw food, don't just send gari, amala, all these things, thinking that you are feeding them. Get the right supplement that will help your aged ones to absorb the food they are going to eat and be able to derive the best benefit in terms of mineral resources from this food that they are intaking. So, you see, all those things are very, very vital. Then supplements, they are there. In fact, the most important one to me is supplements, because they go a long way to prevent a lot of diseases. Take Reload, for instance. Reload for 50 and above. Reload also for 50 and above for women, for men and for women. The one for the men has a supplement in it that takes care of aged men's syndrome, which is called prostate. You see, prostate enlargement and all that. That Reload for adults, for the men, has a component of it that helps to prevent the occurrence of prostate, or at least to manage it. And also, if you have an aged man, of course, you need to do regular annual tests, medical check-up, comprehensive medical check, where they will check the prostate for the men, they will check the heart, they will check the brain, they will check everything with the whole system and all the general things that they needed to, all the cardiovascular, whatever. So that checkup regularly is very important to be able to detect whatever is coming. And then you need to be closer, still on medical, you still need to be closer to your aged ones, or whoever is taking care of them should be somebody who is very observant. If they have malaria, they wouldn't know on time until they start. By the time they start showing the symptoms, might be that, so you interact with them. Don't be too far from them. Wake up feel their body. If you have this blood, what do you call it, BP monitor, always do that one, maybe once a week, to check their state of health in terms of, whether there is BP or whether, you see, there are two ways to it. If you are having this BP monitor thing, you will have to know whether your aged one has a low BP or you have a high BP or it's normal. You see, some of our parents, aged parents, they suffer from low BP and they call it hypotension. That one is more dangerous. Such people, what is the simple remedy that you need for them? They should intake more of salt. That is, you can add more salt to their food. But the ones that are having raised BP, you need to check the charts to know what is good for them. The ones that are having raised BP, they need to eat less of salty things. They need to eat less of salt. You see now, you need to monitor to know, their state of health in terms of this BP thing. So it's also very vital. We need to interact. If you don't feel them, you see some of them, they will be there. They won't actually know. They won't be able to explain that they are having until they begin to have serious headaches. Or it's not only then that you go to them and feel their body, whether they have raised BP or whether they have temperature or whether they have whatever will make you to know that they have malaria. And also, there is also need to treat them preventively for malaria. Now, if you observe malaria symptom, because their environment also need to be kept neat, very neat, and then two, mosquitoes should be far from them. What do? You regularly spray the areas where these elderly ones live, because their immunity is low. So any little thing, if mosquito comes to bite them, then they will quickly develop malaria, and from there you may have issues in your hands. What do? Make sure that their area, the places they are living, is neat, and also you banish mosquitoes and some other, make sure that also the environment is neat, that all other pests and all these mosquito bugs, and even the one we call omonile, all these lizards that live inside the rooms and all that. Make sure that if you see them, you kill them completely or eradicate them. Make sure they don't stay around, because they come around even in the night to come and scratch the bodies of these aged people. I mean, I've experienced it before. You just wake up, you see marks on your body. They can be that deadly. God, we need to take proper care of them. Cockroaches should not be allowed in their environment. Bed bugs and all that. That's why we are talking of neatness. So we need to lice and others, all those things that can easily, contaminate their food. Rats, it's an abomination. Make sure you get rid of all forms of rodents, rats, and everything from wherever they are living. And make sure that then, in terms of when they are eating, serve them food that are warm, at least warm, not all this food you prepare and then you go and keep in one place and you say, that's afternoon food. Taking care of the aged one requires devotion. You need to really monitor what they are doing and how they are feeling. More importantly, let's go to shelter. As I said earlier, accommodation. You see, our aged people, their prayers, let me give my mother as an example. Her prayer was that she would die in her own house. And who will build her house? It's supposed to be us, the children. But being the last born, my elder brother was not strong enough to be able to accomplish that even before Mama died. Then I should have also been able to do it. When I'm talking of their own houses, in their village, not, if you like, build skyscrapers in Lagos, build them in US, build them in anywhere you are. They are not interested though. The ones that you build for them in the village is the one they value most. In fact, it is the one they want, inside of which they want to die, to live and to die. So they don't toy with such things. They love it. If this video stops suddenly, I will go for part 3 because I'm having some incoming calls now, but I won't attend to it in case it stops. In case it stops this recording, I will continue with part 3. So as I said, they want to die in their house. It's a major vision for them. My mother lingered for it. Unfortunately, I still could not accomplish that before she died because Omipojoka, so much precious. But again, she still died in her house. She wouldn't have. She died in her own house in Lagos because the house where she died, in which she died, belonged to us. So it was our property. But that's a mission not accomplished as far as Mama was concerned. And she lived with us inside our house for more than 18 years. We were together. So she still died in her own house, but the one that she cherished most is to live in her own house in Yekiti and die there. But to God be the glory. She accomplished what she needed, but again, her definition of it is a different thing. We couldn't accomplish it in Inyi. So if you can afford it, it doesn't have to be big. Build a small house for your aged ones so that they will feel fulfilled. But more importantly, take the best of cares for them. Because one, they don't like to be living around with people, even with you, their children. They want to be on their own. They don't want to. When you take them to Lagos, I want to return home, I want to return home. That's what you'll be hearing. Because the reason is this, they are rooted in their village or towns. What they do is that they have acquaintances, they have relatives. You see, they can visit themselves 10 times in a day and they talk a lot. All those things add to their longevity. Because my mother will say, "Àìrẹ́ni bá fọ̀, òun làgbà ó sí." When you have nobody to share your burdens with, it is the greatest disease that can ever inflict a person. That's what my mother said. And I agree with her. If you are lonely. So if they are living in their own house, they will visit their sisters, they will visit all their relatives. Their relatives will visit them. Those ones keep them happy, joyful. Everybody will continue to repeat the stories of the olden days and so on and so forth. They all add to their longevity. So if you go and take them to Lagos or to one place where everybody locks his gate, you are not helping them. They won't be happy with you, no matter if you like give them honey every day, every morning until night. They won't. So allow them to live in a place that they love to live, so that they will be able to relate with the kind of people they want to relate with. Then, in terms of that accommodation, then in terms of affection, give them phone calls regularly. Every other day at least. Every day ideal. Every other day at least. Give them phone call. Hear from them. Buy them telephone. Somebody will operate and call. And make sure you fund the credit. 100 naira. Their credit is not big, just 100 naira. And once you do that, and they will call clock and it's finished. 3 days after, they ask me for another 100 naira. Budget that one. Fine. They also love to communicate a lot. So then, when they are with you, please, like I said, our aged ones, they love being remembered. I've told you, send the allowances, food, everything. You know the type of food you will send now. It's not just gari, eba, amala, bread. No. Supplements. And then let there be a first aid kit. That is where they can get some. Arrange with a nearby chemist where if mama has anything, you refer them there to go and collect the appropriate thing. And then regular medical checkup. Then if they are sick, take them to the hospital. Or invite a doctor, medical doctor, to come and take care of them at home. It is more convenient. Even they can give them drips and all these things even in the house. It's very important. So make sure that they are. Then they are a part of affection is the phone calls, and then visit them. Don't just sit until they pass away. You still owe them the duty of visitation. Not once in a year. God will protect you. Those who are afraid of coming home because of fear of accident or fear of witches and wizards. No, none of them will befall you as the Lord God Almighty lives. You are caring, you are fulfilling what God says to do to your parents. So try and be close to your people, close to them. Now, those of us who are living with them, if you are living with your aged ones, they like talking a lot. They like, narrating stories. They want to tell you about what happened in the ancient days. They want to tell you about their experiences while they were young. They like to tell you about their experiences in the farms, in their trades, in their, wherever they have ever been to in this world. If you are the impatient type, you will be in trouble with them. You need to be patient. We are not equally gifted. If you know that you don't have that patience, please, as I said, let them live near their people who can share these experiences with them. Live near their parents, their relatives, aunties, brothers, sisters, uncles, and so on. When they are living in their village, you don't need to bother because people will come and they too will go out, and it will help them to also live longer. They need stories. If you, no matter how much care you take, if you don't listen to them, anytime you now are there, if you are not the gifted type, because some people are not that gifted, I think I have the grace. I have the grace. That's why when I wake up in the morning, I will still have to go and chat with my aged ones. How are you? How was your night? Oh, jump up. I will crack jokes. Jump up. Oh yeah, we are going to play football. Oh yeah, then create work for them. Don't say they are old. Why? Look, it starts with the beans that we are talking about, food that you eat, beans. Give it to them to pick the stones. They may not pick it perfectly well. You can do the perfection later. But first of all, when you buy your beans, give it to them to be picking the stones. If it is local rice, give it to them. Let them be picking the stones. You'll be marveled. They like being engaged. You can imagine, we're doing, in my compound there, we are doing, anytime we are producing palm oil, my aged mother, stepmother, who is above 80 years, will still want to pound. What do we do? If you don't allow her to pound, you are in trouble. What do I do? It starts with the cutting of the palm fruits. When we cut it down, we slice it. Then the palm leaves is broom. I want to thank God for one. Since we started making palm oil from my compound, we have more than 25 trees of palm trees in my compound. Since we're making that palm oil, every leaf that drops from the palm tree, whenever we want to, we cut the palm fruits. My aged mother will make sure that she turn them to broomsticks. Can you imagine? Sometimes she will make like 10, 15 brooms, and each of that will cost 100 naira. Look at the value that old woman is adding to the house. After finishing, she will share it. Hey, okay, daddy, take your own. Mommy, take your own. Auntie, take your own. And your children, take your own. That keeps her busy. Now, getting to the palm oil tree. Whenever we have cooked, we boiled the palm fruits, what do we do? And it's about the time to pound because we are still doing it manually. She will go there and carry the mortar and the pestle and begin to pound. You see? And she will be happy. She will say, yes, you see, you need to do this thing so that you sweat. And she will joke, will laugh over it. Let them be engaged. Don't tell. Then let them move around. Hold them by the hands. Let's stroll around with them. Joke with them. Do everything with them. And then thank God as a farmer. Anytime we brought in cassava from the farm, oh my goodness, my mother is ready for work. Her knife is unique. So she will start. When all of us have left there, she will still be there, morning till night. And she will do the job well. You can imagine, engage them, let them exercise their brains, their body, their everything that they have. It is that they are old, yes, but it still doesn't mean that they can't perform. They can still even outperform many of us in these things. So you can see the care of the aged is beyond food. Yes, the basic ones are food, shelter, and not. Look at the analysis. It's not just dumping food on them. Like I did say, you will save a lot of money even. You see, the money you would have spent on paid house helper, you can spend it on the woman's or your own relative that lives around the woman who are taking care of them. You won't spend less, and then they will get the best care for you because they won't leave her. They will him or her. They will be going there all the time. They will interact, and because she's free with them, he is free with them. He will relate very well, and you are prolonging his or her life. You see, so our aged ones, they need affection, jokes. Your television, switch it on. Look for places where they speak vernacular, the language you can understand, and then put it in some plays, all these films that are okay. And then put the radio on 24 hours. Put it in Yoruba speaking, or if it's Yoruba, if it's Igbo, put it in the language that they can understand. They will flow along. It helps to keep their systems up. So you can now see that taking care of the aged has an in-depth. It's not just something. Connect with them. They will be happy with you, and you will be happy with them. They hardly will go sick. Even if they are sick, they will be able to express themselves. Not that you dump them in the house and then you lock the gate and you go. No, 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 no. So they need even their food. Though, if the size is too much, they will complain. If it is too small, they will complain. If the soup is too much, they will complain. If the salt is not enough, they will complain. What do? You will never go angry. You need to enjoy them. Mama, sorry, I didn't know. I thought it was okay. Add the salt. Okay, it is too salt. Okay, tomorrow I will reduce. Just cajole them. Be affectionate. They will eat more than you think they can eat. And with all this, and then, like I said, pray for them. They need prayers. If with my aged ones there, if we have not prayed, do our devotional in one day, trouble. On Sundays, she gets to church before us. So you can see, God, you need God to even help you to take care of the aged ones. So you need to give them balanced all-round support. It's not, if you lack in one, she will complain or he will complain of that one that you are lacking in. So you cannot see. It's an assignment. It's a big task. So where you spend more money is on the medication. For instance, I talk about supplements, very vital. Don't give them just food because there is little their system can take from all this food that we are eating, except something like beans and other things. Beans don't need to add to many things. They say they want pound a day, let them eat, but make sure at least our own policy is that once a day, all of us must eat beans, either in form of akara or in form of boiled cooked one or in form of porridge made with beans, made in anything, is our policy. And thank God it's working for us. And when I look at even the aged ones among, they are shining. So let us then, like I said, alternate things for them, vegetables, varieties, and all that. Then allow children to be around them. They love children because you may not be as attentive as the children will be. They like to communicate with them as if they are adults. If the moment there are no children, you see they can start crying. You won't know why. But the moment they have children around, so allow children. That's why they need to live in an environment where their children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren can relate with them. So here, let me stop here again because of our time. I hope you learned something. Kindly remember your aged ones and remember to take good care of them. Balanced care. It is not just about food. It is not just about accommodation. It's not about clothing. All those things are useless without affection. So let affection be added. Call them and ask after their well-being. God bless you. Please, you see, don't let this video go without being shared. Share them. Then subscribe. Don't let me just be a workaholic who has no reference point. You see, I need to beef up my subscription level. You need to be part of that by sharing these videos. Let people, you subscribe. Tell the people that you send them to also subscribe. I hope you have benefited. God bless you. I'm only sharing from the wealth of my experience in this world. I don't want to die with them. I want generations upon generations after me to